Okay, everybody. I want to recant on something that I said from a while ago. See, it's really hard to get when you're someone like me, when you say that you're someone like a nihilist or a non-dualist, like non-duality, stoicism, all these different types of things that we call ourselves. I am somewhat of those things, but I'm not full-blown those things. And see, a lot of us, I think we just go by the labels, like we go by one thing and we call ourselves one thing, and we go by that our whole lives. And see, me, I'm this type of guy. I say that there is meaning in the meaninglessness. Now, I said that life is meaningless before. I said this in a video before. But meaning is simply the actions that we take, the decisions that we make, and what we do with our lives. That is the meaning of our life. When we say, what is the meaning of life? This is what we're saying when we say this question is, well, what are your actions? What are your decisions? What are you doing for other people? What are the choices that you're making? That is the meaning of your life. That is the meaning of my life. And each person has their own individual meaning. So this is why the definition of nihilism, I don't know it word for word, but the definition for nihilism means that you have no belief in a meaning or God or right or wrong. And I think that that's just absurd for someone to say, I am a full-blown nihilist. And see, this is what I was doing for a while, is I was calling myself things that I didn't really. I looked into it somewhat, and I looked into it as much as I could at that time, but I realized that I'm none of these things. I'm none of these things like these words that there's definitions for. I'm none of those things completely. I see and I understand what they are. You know what I'm saying? I understand nihilism, but how can you be somebody that doesn't think that there's right or wrong in the world? You know what I'm saying? Let me ask you a question. Okay, there's no right or wrong, right? So if I just come up to you and shoot you with a shotgun, there's nothing wrong with that? If I just hit you in the kneecaps with a baseball bat, oh, well, there's nothing wrong with that, right? You're a nihilist. There's nothing right or wrong about life, right? And I'm just using this as an example. I'm not saying that I'm going to do this to anybody. That's just absurd. I don't mean what I'm saying. I'm just using metaphors and things like that. Because once you understand this whole thing, you understand that everything in this life is a metaphor. Everything that you learn, that is taught, that is spoken, it's all a metaphor and parables. And this is why I would tell someone, you can't just say that, look, even if you do or you don't think that Jesus Christ is a reality, it can still teach you something for yourself metaphorically and parable-wise. You understand? It can still teach you something for yourself. See, this is how I'm starting to see this whole thing, is that it's not about what other people think. It's not about their opinions and their views. It is about, let's examine these things for ourselves. It's not like, oh, Nate, I resonate with what you're saying. That's cool if you resonate with what I'm saying, but basically what you're saying is, I resonate with what you're saying because I understand that for myself. You see what I mean? It has nothing to do with me. It's like Nobody can like or love you but yourself. There's no one in this world that can really like you or love you, or all these words that we use to say, look, I blank you. I blank you. No, basically all you're doing is you're reflecting what you're seeing in another person back onto yourself. That's all you're doing. You know, and I'm just going to bring this up because I don't like to keep things in my mind, and it's not the most important thing in the world, but somebody commented that you're the one really stuck, that I'm stuck. Yes, I am stuck, but there's 3 different ways to go about this. Now listen to what I'm going to tell you here. I am stuck in my own body. I'm stuck with me, of course, and I have to live with that the rest of my life. I'm in my body. But the thing is, I'm not stuck in my thinking anymore. I'm not stuck with conforming to what everybody else conforms to. I'm not stuck with that anymore. But we have to realize that each one of us, every single person in this world, is a hypocrite. It's just we all have degrees of hypocrisy. There's some people that are full-blown hypocrites. Yes, I'm a hypocrite too. I have small hypocrisies that I can't run from. There's hypocrisies in this world that you just can't get away from. You know, like people that say, oh, you're a capitalist, and they're calling me a capitalist when they are a part of the capitalistic system too. See, this makes no sense for you to call me a capitalist or to say that I'm stuck when that's all you're really doing is you're reflecting that back onto yourself, you see. And it's all about you is what I'm saying. It's all about the individual that are thinking these things. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with what I'm saying. We have to learn these things for ourselves in order to understand these things and to understand that there is no meaning in this world. The meaning is the actions you take, the decisions you make, and the choices that you make for yourself. That is what your meaning is. There is no such thing as, oh, I'm going to find something meaningful in my life. No, you either do it because you want to do it, or you don't do it because you don't want to do it. If you're forcing yourself to do something, then that is meaningless because you're forcing yourself to do something that you don't want to do. You see, I want to make this video. I need to express myself. I need to talk. I need to get things out of me. I need to discuss what I learned so that I can speak it onto a video, and whoever else watches that, I make a choice to put it out there. Now, if people want to take this in for themselves, then that's completely up to them. It's out of my hands once I record a video and I say the things that I say and I put a video out. That is for you to take in for yourself. I can't do anything after that. And this is why I've been looking into Stoicism lately. There's a guy that has a channel, the Daily Stoicism, I think it's called. It's in my subscribers list. Daily Stoicism, I believe it's called. And he carries this coin on him that says, Memento Mori. Remember, you will die. Remember your death. And see, this is something that shouldn't frighten us. It shouldn't make us terrified and to put us in fear. It's saying that I don't know. This could be my last day on earth. This could be my last video I'm making. This could be the last second of my life right now. I could record this video and walk from here, fingers crossed, even though I don't believe in that type of superstitious stuff. But I could, go over here and anything could happen. A meteorite could fall out of the sky. A bird could swoop down and hit me in my eye so hard and hit, you know what I'm saying? Like anything's possible. A car could hit me, anything. And remembering that I will die, I say, I only have a little bit of time here. You know what I'm saying? I only have a little bit of time left on this earth to live life. And what I really think is going on with so many of us is we are getting stuck in our thinking. We're getting caught up in thinking that there's nothing else for us to do. Like you have to listen to what everybody else listens to. You have to do what everybody else is doing, or there will be nothing for you to do in life. Listen, I can't give people some kind of passion or some kind of their own meaning in their life. I can't do that. All that you can do as a person is do what you do, and then if that inspires somebody, or it makes somebody move, or it makes somebody understand something for themselves, then that's what it's gonna do, or it's not gonna do. You can't force the issue. I realize I can't force things upon people, because that is for them to either take in or not to take in. And this is just another realization I came to. And I realized why I was so depressed. I realized why I was going through this struggle that I was going through just a little bit ago. Because what I was doing is I was expelling all of the old stuff out of my life. I was expelling all of the conditioning, all of the indoctrination, all of the things that I was used to in my life. I have been looking into these things and I have been expelling them from me. I have been training my mind to not think the way that I used to think. And when you do that, you're going to have a battle within yourself. Your mind is going to battle against you. It's like this last ditch effort thing that you're desperately holding on to because you don't want to fully let go of the past. You don't want to fully let go of what you're holding on to or what you think you need to do because everybody else is doing it. We are scared and horrified of the unknown, and we don't want to take leaps in our life. We don't want to do things that not everybody else does. And I understand that. I understand how this happens because I've been doing the same thing. I've been doing the same exact thing. I've been having a lot of these last ditch efforts in my life. And I've been saying, oh, well, I have to be this thing and I can't try to do this thing. And then I'm constantly staying where I'm at and I'm not learning nothing new and I'm staying stuck in my thinking. I'm always going to be stuck with me. You know, I'm always going to be with me all the time. It doesn't matter where I go. It doesn't matter where I go. I'm always going to be with Nate. And whoever's watching this, you're always going to be with you. So you have to make the decision in your own life. Do you want to learn things? Do you want to spend your time moping and whining and complaining and doing all these things? I'm not saying that you are doing that, whoever's watching this, but we're taking this time for granted, y'all. We don't have a lot of time on this earth. It's like we're going to be here and we're going to be gone like that. Like that. I look back when I was 10 years old listening to Mo Money, Mo Problems in the back of when my dad lived with some lady that he lived with. I remember I was 10 years old listening to that song. That was 26 years ago. That was almost 3 decades ago. And that went by like I can't even tell you how quick that went by. And for those of you who are older on here, you know what I'm saying. And a lot of the younger people, listen, I'm not judging you when I say these things. I'm just putting it out so if you want to, you can reflect this back on yourself. Start saying, let me not take this time for granted. Memento Mori, remember that I will die one day. Don't let that scare you. Don't let it terrify you. Don't let these people talk you into conforming into something that you don't like, into something that you know is not you. And there's a lot of people that are just gonna keep you where you're at. They don't want you to move on from. They don't want you to do things in your life and go somewhere because they won't think for themselves. They won't take actions for themselves while they can. And listen, I'm not saying anybody has to move. I'm not saying anybody has to go anywhere or do anything. But like I said, for me, yes, right now I am talking about these things. I am spewing out some words that you're listening to. But I know for me, it's just a matter of time before I take some kind of action in my life to move on from where I'm at right now, because I don't want to be here where I'm at anymore. Even though I know I'm here for now, and I have to accept that I'm here for now, because I can't escape me. I can't go away from me. I'm always going to be with me. You see what I'm saying? So that's just foolish for me to think that I can go anywhere else. I can't. But what I'm saying here is our thinking is so screwed up. We think that we're worthless. We think that we have no value. We think that our life is shit. We keep thinking these things, then of course that's what we're gonna think. That's how we're gonna live if we keep telling ourselves those things while we're here. And everything that I say on this channel, this is the way that I speak. I can't speak like anybody but myself. But everything that I say on this channel, I am reflecting that back onto myself, and I'm taking a look at myself. Every time I do one of these videos, I'm doing it for myself. This is what we have to understand, is I'm doing it for myself, and when I do the video, I give the video and I let people hear the video for themselves. It is for you. It's not for what other people will think or what other people will say or how they'll judge you or what they'll tell you you should do or how you should act or what you should be being or how you should think and how you should be like everybody else, and you have to do this certain type of music because everybody else is doing it. Don't we realize that there is more than what people are talking about today? There is more things to do. There's more things to talk about. It's like, this is how confined people that are not really thinking about things, people that are not willing to experiment with stuff. This is not for everybody. You know, it's just, I'm sorry to say, but it's not for everybody. Not everybody wants to experiment in their lives. Not too many people want to take risks and do something different. Not too many people are going to want to be something that everybody else is not being. It's just, you know, I can't help that that's a fact, but it's a fact. But the more that we keep staying stuck in our thinking, and then we think, oh, well, these other people ain't talking about it, so I can't talk about it. If I'm not talking about guns and violence and drugs and sex and all these other things all the time, then there's nothing else for me to do because everybody else is talking about that. So if I don't talk about that, I'm not going to fit in. See, that's still the conformist mindset that we're going by. That's still part of the conformity. It's like, look, let me be honest with y'all. In order for me to know who I am today and to say the things I'm saying, I had to be by myself for a long time. I had to be by myself to know myself and to understand these things. I would have never did this if I was around a group of people. I would have never did this. I would still be doing everything that they're doing. I'd be trying to impress them. I'd be trying to fit in. I'd be doing all that still to this day probably. I'd probably be just another conformist in the world doing the same old things. But there's this saying that goes like this: show me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. Show me your friends and I will tell you who you are. Because who you call your friends, who you're hanging around with, who you're doing things with, that's going to determine who you are. That's going to determine how you act. That's going to determine the things that you say. Because once you're with a group of people, you have to do what they're doing. You have to fit in. You have to go by what the rest of the group is doing. Now, I'm not saying there isn't some situations where, like survival situations and working together to build a building or a bridge or something like that, yes, you have to be of one mind, because if somebody makes a mistake, then you can't build a building. You can't build a bridge. You can't do anything if somebody says, oh, well, no, it's 3 feet. That tile, that piece of concrete has to be 3 feet. And the other guy is saying that it has to be 2 feet, 11 inches. Somebody is wrong, and it's going to go to shit, and it's not going to work. I'm talking about your mentality, your thinking. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, see, there's different levels and views and different ways about doing this. It's just like when we say most people or some people. You know, when you're talking about a subject or you're speaking about words, you can't just say that it's most people or some people, because you don't really know that. And even I say things like that. I say most people or few people or some people, but you know what? I don't really know. But I know how a lot of this stuff is. I understand how conforming works. I understand how this society and the system works. I understand how group mentality is. I understand how mob mentality is. I understand these things more than any person, because I've been a part of them. I lived by it. I've experienced this stuff. I did all of this before. And I can tell you something right now. The good people and the bad people are both ugly. I don't want to be a good person, and I don't want to be a bad person. I want to be, even though I called them ugly, you know how the saying goes, the good, the bad, and the ugly? Well, like the guy from Stain said, inside you're ugly like me. I can see through you, see your true colors. We're all ugly inside, but none of us are good, and none of us are all the way bad. Yes, we are capable of doing bad, and we're capable of being a goody, know everything, thinking that we got everything together, thinking that we're better than everybody else. I understand both of those, but both of them are ugly. But yet so many people are chasing either the good or they're chasing after the bad. And I'm not chasing after either one. I'm not even chasing anything anymore. I'm not chasing the wind, even though that's what it seems like we're doing, and that's what we're really doing. It's not what you're doing. See, people, we can't understand contradiction. We can't understand how you can say, I'm perfectly imperfect. Find meaning in the meaninglessness. Even though you know how a lot of life is, even though we know that we're heading to death, even though we know we're gonna die, even though we know all these things, that doesn't mean just sit there and do nothing and just sit in your misery and mope and just get worse health-wise and do all these things. That's not what it means. and you can't tell anybody their meaning. You can't give somebody a meaning. You can't give somebody a passion or a drive or some burning within them to do this. You have got to want to do it for yourself. You know, there's this thing that my brother told me a long time ago, and this is an irony that he told me this, but he said that there was some saying, I don't know what the saying said, but it's something like this. It goes something sort of like this, that people choose to be happy or unhappy. Now, I'm not talking about this happy that people might think I'm talking about. It's this thing where you make a choice to be a certain way because you're so tired of doing something, or you realize that it's not working for you, and then you do something about it because you really want to. You're tired of doing what you were doing, so you say, okay, I got to do something different here. I have to do something different here, and that's what I'm doing every day. My mindset, like I told y'all, I am not going back to how I was 2 months ago ever again. I will never go back to that place again. And I seen it for what it is, and I've accepted it for what it is. And I seen how I got there. I understand how I got there. I seen what happened, and I realized all that was me going through this stage. It was me going through this point, this time in my life that I needed to happen. I needed to go through that to understand the things that I understand now. And it showed me a lot of stuff. That last ditch effort showed me so many things. All that was a last ditch effort of me holding on to so many things and not letting go fully, not accepting things how they really are, and then saying, okay, this is how they really are, but now it's time to move on. It's time to do something about this. It's time to think differently. It's time to tell myself different things instead of telling myself the same old dead baggage that everybody around me just keeps doing every day. And that's all they're doing, is just they're keeping me stuck in this mind frame of conformity. They're keeping me stuck in this place. They're keeping me stuck somewhere where I don't want to be. You know, this is, like I said, only individual people will understand this. This is not for the group mentality. It's just not for bigger groups. I'm not saying that it can't be for a group of people, but more than likely it's not going to be for groups of people, because when we're by ourselves, we learn things for ourselves. And we look into things for ourselves, and we actually go by what we really need to go by. But when we're around other people and we're distracted, we're always going to conform. We're always going to do what we think they want us to do. We're always going to say what we think people want to hear. And this is why I don't think you can learn a lot with other people. I just don't think you can do it. Show me your friends and I will tell you who you are. That saying is so true. If I would still be with the people that I was with years and years ago, I remember that feeling, and it just wasn't me. It was a really nasty, icky feeling, because I just felt like I was reliving this thing that I knew that I wasn't, over and over again. I was listening to music that I know that wasn't me. I was doing things that I knew wasn't even me. And most of us don't even realize. We don't even realize that we are our own downfall. We are our own destruction. We are our own cause and effect. We are the one that makes the choice to either live or to just sit and do nothing. We are the ones that make these choices. It is a personal choice. It has nothing to do with the group. It has nothing to do with other people. It has to do with ourselves. Yourself. This is what it has to do with. And if somebody says, oh, you're selfish, you're narcissistic, all these labels that people put out there, we got to get over the labels too. Labels don't mean a damn thing. Identity doesn't mean a damn thing. All that is dead to me. All that identity shit, labeling everything, that's what people do that don't understand things. They label it right away. They have something to, they say something so quick about something because they don't understand it themselves. And then whatever they know in their mind, they'll say that thing that somebody else told them. Or they'll say what they learned growing up, or what their mom and dad told them, or what their family told them, or what their brother told them. That doesn't mean that they knew what they were talking about. That doesn't mean that they weren't going by the same rhetoric and the same conforming aspect that everybody else was going by. We just listened to it. We just believed it because we thought that we could believe in the people closest to us. We thought that we could trust in the people closest to us. And I would say, for me, I don't believe in anyone. I am a skeptic with every single thing in my life. I am a skeptic with everybody and everything. There is nothing that I'm not a skeptic with. Being a skeptic is not a bad thing. I see this as a gift. I see stoicism, and it's a gift for every individual. It's not just me. I see stoicism, and I see non-duality and nihilism and individualism. All of these things I see as a gift. Skepticism, I see it as a big gift to the individual because it makes you think. It makes you make choices. You can determine what you're doing. It gives you a better understanding of what you want to do for yourself. You understand that you are the one that is self-sabotaging yourself. You understand that you're the one making yourself suffer. You're the one putting yourself through this stuff. It's not other people, it's us, it's me, it's you that are putting ourselves through this. You know, this is something I'm not desperate, but this is something that I'm getting across to myself every day. And I'm willing to talk about it because I know that it's doing things for me. It is doing something from the inside out, not the outside, not looking on the outside of everything. I'm looking deep within me, and I'm figuring out who I am and what I want to do, and reflecting on my own life constantly and continually. This is what I'm doing every day. I resonate on my life every single second, and I tell myself, Memento Mori. Remember, you will die. Remember your death. I remember this every day, and it doesn't terrify me and scare me anymore like it did. I'm not saying that I'm not scared of death, but I'm reminded that I don't have a lot of time here, is what I'm saying. And once you have that understanding of stoicism, and you have an understanding, Memento Mori, that you will die, it gives you this thing where you say, I don't have a lot of time, and it inspires you to do something with your time that you still do have. It's just a reminder of your own life, of your own mortality, that, you know, you could go any second. I could walk away from this video. This video might not even get uploaded. Nobody even might see this video. I don't know until it happens. So anyway, that's where I'm at right now with it. It's like I said, whatever I learn, I just want to put out there. And if somebody takes it, they take it. If they don't, they don't. That is up to the individual person. You gotta let it be at that. And this is another realization I came to. I'm not arguing with people in a sense of I'm trying to prove something to you. I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm just telling you what I learned for myself, and I'm putting that out there into oblivion. So whatever people want to do with it themselves, that's what they have the right to do. They have their own meaning, what they do with it. They have their own actions. They have their own choices. They have their own decisions to make. So with that, thank you for listening. Any support, any donations really help. I really don't have a way to say these types of things, but if you can subscribe, please subscribe. I am going to get 1,000 subscribers so I can at least start to make a living off of this channel, because that's what I'm going for. I'm going to make a living off of what I learned. Philosophy, things that actually matter and mean something, those types of things. You know, I don't know how my channel is seen by a lot of people, but that is what I am. You know, I'm a philosopher. I'm a guy that wants to learn. I want to experience things. I want to know things, and I want to know them for myself, so that someone else can know it for themselves. That's what my channel is for. It's for individual people to reflect on their own lives. And if anybody is willing to give something, then that is extra credit. But like I said, I just want to make an honest living off of this. That's all I want to do. I don't want to do something the rest of my life that I hate doing. And do y'all out there want to do that? Do you want to make do you want to do something that you hate every day and that you don't like every day for the rest of your life? You know, whatever I have that I need is good with me. If I have enough food, enough water, I have shelter, and I can do these videos and I can do my music and my arts, that's all I ask for. And when people give, it reminds me that you're actually listening, that you're actually getting something from this, that you're learning something. If you haven't learned anything, or I haven't pushed you for yourself or did something, then don't do anything. Don't support my channel, don't donate, don't do anything. If you learned something and I made you understand something for yourself, then please think about doing those things if you want to do them. All right? Stay up, stay lowly, resonate. I'm out.